Welcome back, YouTubers, to another Smackdown review of us, the British Fist.
Got you.
No Terminator NJ this week. We're saving him for next week. I am Mr. Parkin. This guy sitting next to me is Normal NJ, everybody.
What's up?
Everybody liking Normal NJ. Subscribe above, like this video, comment any thoughts you have on this Smackdown edition down in the comment section below.
Make your contact us and make it below.
Let's dissect this show, NJ, shall we? So we open up the show with Alberto Del Rio. We haven't opened up the show with him for a while, so I appreciate the fact that we at least opened up with something different. And he comes to the ring, and it's amazing to think how when Del Rio first come on the scene, I quite enjoyed his promos. Now they just seem quite generic and bland. Would you not say? They kind of just seem incredibly scripted.
Pretty much it.
Pretty much it for you, is it?
Yeah.
We had Ricardo Rodriguez dressed as Sheamus. I thought this was quite funny. Did you?
They have to add something entertaining to SmackDown because SmackDown's been appalling lately.
It was funny seeing Ricardo Rodriguez dressed as Sheamus. And then out comes the real Sheamus. The 2-on-1 attack between Del Rio and Ricardo Rodriguez allows Sheamus, well, pretty much Sheamus gets beat down. It's at least nice. They're at least having Del Rio beat down Sheamus a couple of times, which is good.
And yeah, after the entertaining opener of Rodriguez and Del Rio smarting things up, it was a good opener. It got to the point, made their heels look strong in this, and then obviously Sheamus comes out and obviously he's claiming his spot as the top of the SmackDown roster.
Ricardo Rodriguez playing a very, very, very pivotal factor in this bit. And then you have this fact, you had reliving old times. We had Teddy Long coming out, who's in charge of the show, because Johnny Ace is telling him what to do. He sets up Kane versus Sheamus as the main event, and Del Rio versus Great Khali, which is next. At least we didn't get a main event tag match.
No, with Laurinaitis obviously away getting prepared for his inspection stuff by Vince McMahon. He gives Theodore Long the pouch. I didn't really think he would. I thought he would have given it to a Tonga or Eve because he doesn't like Ted. But anyway, going past that, you get matches set up. They both warm up matches for No Way Out next Sunday.
Yeah, we get Alberto Del Rio versus Great Khali after the opener. Not too much to say about this, really. It was a bit weird seeing Great Khali in the ring with Del Rio, but they had Del Rio work on the knee, win with the cross-arm breaker with the distraction from Ricardo. They're showing Del Rio sort of systematically dissecting a giant in about 3 minutes, so it made him at least look somewhat strong.
And this match, again, yes, it should be seen as a challenge for the WWE because the big guy in Khali, but Khali's not as dominant as the WWE want him to be. So this match wasn't anything special, but it gives Del Rio the win in a way that he shows how he's going to beat Sheamus at No Way Out. So in that way, I give it a thumbs up for that reason. Over
a 7'4", 450-pound giant, I guess, does its job. After this, we have the first of many squash matches. Funkasaurus versus Derek Bateman. We saw a more aggressive side of the Funkasaurus in this, didn't we? After what happened with Big Show in that main event. It's nice to see something different from him, like a more aggressive side, and while still being kind of fun with the kids in the ring.
Yeah, with the Funkasaurus, he's still not really going anywhere. Every feud he's possibly been in, he's dropped out of quickly. And this, he's going back to filler. Yes, he's looking more dominant, but as long as it leads somewhere, then there's a purpose. But for this, it was just a filler match for SmackDown.
Just another way of getting him on the show, really, isn't it? After this, we had the presentation of Triple H's golden boy, Cara versus Drew McIntyre. Hey, nice to see Drew McIntyre back on TV, isn't it? Even though he's nowhere near featured enough and he's nowhere higher up the card as much as he should be.
And this match is giving Sin Cara because we know that Drew McIntyre can wrestle in some way, and it is a good challenge. Even though Drew's not been on TV to show his skills off, it was a strong enough match. Got an okay time, not the best amount of time, but what was performed in the match was worth watching, and I enjoyed this match. They're
making Sin Cara seem like an integral part of the program in the sense that it's like they're presenting it as something you have to watch on SmackDown only, even though they just had him on Raw. They got like the whole up next Sin Cara thing, like a sort of showcase of. And the Sin Cara is something different on SmackDown, so I did enjoy this. It does add a little bit of variety to the show. Maybe it's because Drew McIntyre was in there, but I did enjoy this match. Sin Cara got a good reaction. And the finish as well, I thought was pretty good. They kind of botched the La Mystica, but then they fixed it with the 2 counters. I thought that was a botched, but they sorted it out to make it look like a very nice finish.
Sin Cara's definitely improved in the ring. He's getting all these skills, because I think the original Sin Cara would have just left it as a botch, but the way he's now found a way of adapting it into a move that actually worked for him. Very nicely done, good finish. Sin Cara's looking good. Again, he's another wrestler. I know he's just came back, but I want to see him progress onto a feud or direction in the WWE.
it would be nice to see him in some kind of feud, kind of like he was in the middle of last year. I think the whole botch thing was Drew McIntyre saying, "Nah, I'm only on TV once. I ain't botching this finish. We're sorting this finish out, brother. That's all I care about."
And for the live fans, you got to see something that I thought should be here, because Drew McIntyre after the match, he thinks, "Why am I not in the title picture? Why am I not getting more importance here?" Come out authority figure, and out comes Triple H. Obviously, he's coming back for No Way Out to do his big promo thing, and he pedigrees Drew McIntyre. End of. Drew McIntyre's going nowhere.
Triple H just feeding his ego a little bit more every week. They do these kind of segments to hype up the crowd a little bit. We didn't see it on Smackdown, but you watched the clip on YouTube, so there we go. Next, we had our traditional Ryback squashing two jobbers session. I do like the fact that WWE are giving this guy a streak and everything, but it is kind of getting a little bit boring now. I mean, I do like the way they present him. I do like the character Ryback. I think if Vince McMahon has a lot of confidence in the guy, he can push him to the moon. He's a typical Vince McMahon guy. But they need to do something new with him. Because this whole squash match thing, it's getting very repetitive. And we've seen him squash two jobbers. We see it every week now. We need to see something different. Maybe, raise the level of quality of opponent a bit more. Maybe have a heel get one up on him at some point or something.
They had the whole, Ryback up next, get ready for this match, blah, blah, blah. But I had already seen the match. I watched last week, the week before, the week before, the week before. So there was nothing different about this match, so next.
Just watch a replay. Next, we had our Peep Show segment. Now, remember last week, NJ, when I said I really want to see a big segment between Christian and Cody Rhodes? Well, I feel I got that this week. So far, we've had kind of simple segments. This segment, we had them both on the mic. Rhodes destroying the Peep Show set. They're saying that Christian should answer to Cody Rhodes, and then out comes Christian talking about how inducting Edge at the Hall of Fame gave him a new sense of privilege and perspective in the WWE, and nice little promo segment between Rhodes and Christian, we know can both work a mic. I've been waiting for a segment like this for some time now.
Well, there has been a few questions thrown about, thinking, why has Christian gone out as a heel, came back as a face, and he explained that. Maybe not the best explanation, but using Edge and how important Edge was and how he wants to have importance still in the WWE, and him coming back, fighting for Edge, doing all this stuff. It was really nicely done, and Cody Rhodes weren't believing any of it like he should, because he thinks, no, you're letting down the fans because you're a heel, blah, blah, blah. Really warming this up, because this feud, I think, needs the importance, especially when this mid-card belt is going to continue, hopefully staying important against future wrestlers after Cody Rhodes and Christian.
And with Christian, you could put him up against a shell of heels like maybe Miz or Ziggler or people like that. So, it was a nice promo segment. It led us well onto our Christian versus Ziggler match with Cody Rhodes on commentary. These two are very good in the ring. Of course, this was a pretty decent match for the 6.5 minutes it got. It's just a shame, really, that we thought that Ziggler was going to be on this kind of singles push. Then Orton gets suspended and all of a sudden he's back to jobbing again. This is now 3 shows in a row he's jobbed. And why would I think this guy's going to be a main eventer? I know people out there do. When WWE don't seem to have any faith in this guy as a main eventer. So why should I believe it if WWE aren't making me believe he's now jobbed 3 shows in a row?
Well, coming to No Way Out, how much of a letdown of a pay-per-view this is. I think WWE thinking, well, why build up Ziggler to a pay-per-view that's absolutely not working out as much as we wanted it to? Maybe after No Way Out. I'm not saying it will, not what I'm thinking. It's just a possibility. After No Way Out, as they build up to the bigger pay-per-views, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, and so on, there'll be a chance thinking, right, we need Ziggler to look important because we need to make these future matches bigger and better. So Ziggler getting all these biggish wrestlers to face is gradually building up. Even if he doesn't win, he still looks good.
And I'm guessing they will have Dolph Ziggler in the Money in the Bank along with a guy like Cody Rhodes or something. So these two guys are probably going to be favourites to win some kind of Money in the Bank, you would say. Nice match between the two. At least we've got some kind of big segment now for that Cody Rhodes-Christian feud, which is setting up that No Way Out match quite nicely. Why did they relive the whole Cena-Cole match on Raw? Did they realise that they got a 2.9 rating because everyone thought that match kind of sucked, even though it did gain more viewers than Big Show the previous week?
Well, sadly, it didn't happen on Raw. This was meant to be the biggest thing there. So replaying this on Smackdown, showing what the fans missed. Yeah, they missed a lot. And I think it just filled up time. And Smackdown good at this, showing Raw packages. Because this was the first one. There was miniature ones throughout the show. And I just don't think it was needed. But obviously, fans that don't watch Raw, yeah, they got to see it.
Well, with the lack of talent SmackDown has and the lack of feuds, you've got to fill the time up somehow. I just wish they'd do it with multiple layer feuds and other things other than video packages, but there we go. We had Hornswoggle for some reason coming down dressed as JR. No idea why. Damien Sandow comes out, and I must admit, I still like the Damien Sandow character mocking Hornswoggle, and this brings out Tyson Kidd. to the aid of Hornswoggle, and Sandow pretty much beats down Tyson Kidd. I don't know what you thought of this segment.
This was kind of interesting. Hornswoggle's come back after an absence, entered in some bands, kind of JR. I don't know really why he did that. I know that Michael had this speech to begin with, but blah blah blah. Sandow coming out. I guess they needed to fit him in the show somehow, and him coming out interrupting this was the best way. Tyson Kidd, he's a talent that we think that should be involved in some way. The tag team with Justin Gabriel has been put on hold or finished now, blah, blah, blah. So this was quite good. The only thing I didn't like is the same thing every week. We have the Sandow speech which says, "You're not worthy, I'm going to face you anyway," and all that rubbish and blah, blah, blah. Gets to the thing, and it was pretty nicely done. It made him look good. Really warmed him up as a heel to watch out for. And other than that, I think this segment worked out for the future of Sandow.
Sandow, his mic work is fantastic. I don't know how you can hate that guy on the mic, NJ. He is fantastic. He's much better than what Triple H's initial gay boy gimmick, as most people would call it, could do. I'll just leave it there. Next segment. Apparently Kane doesn't have feelings anymore. Well, he did. That look that AJ gave him on Raw says that there might be a little bit of a love thing between the two, don't you think?
Because the thing about this is that with Kane and Mike, he actually does mention stuff that he has no feelings. Like, you saw what he did to Paul Bear and that. But as the show went on, especially after this segment, you see AJ hiding in the back. So there's something teased in there leading up to No Way Out. So I think it wasn't the best of Mike work, but it led to the future of the main event and No Way Out.
And you've got to imagine, AJ will play some part in that match at No Way Out. And as much as I do like AJ, man, now everyone else likes her. It makes liking her not seem so much special anymore. Oh, I hate that, but there we go. We get on to our next segment. Now, Jimmy Uso in the ring. We're thinking, God damn, he's not with his partner. If he's not in a tag team, who's he going to face? And he faces none other than Antonio Cesaro. We haven't seen him in weeks. It's like, when was the last time we saw Antonio Cesaro? Yeah, I'm glad to see him, but when was the last time we saw the guy really properly on TV in a match?
And this comes up to SmackDown dropping filler in their show, and this, out of nowhere, they think, right, we need to fill up time. But they didn't really fill up time with this match, because this match only got a minute. Yeah, they had Teddy Long announce it, still dragging on this whole him and Xana and all that rubbish. And they get to the match. It was horrible, because we have the Usos, who are still a workable tag team, and he loses in a minute.
I still think the worst thing about this segment to me is that Cesaro's music sucks. Like, it really doesn't show anything to do with Cesaro at all. Use his FCW music, for fuck's sake. It was so much better for his character anyway. We'll move on. Main event. Kane versus Sheamus. So we had one of our number one contenders versus one of our champions. These two, Kane usually has pretty decent matches with most people. Like, we've seen him have a couple of good matches with CM Punk. This was a pretty decent match as well. Two big guys going at it in the ring. As much as the RWC may not like two big guys going out in the ring, we can appreciate big man action, can't we?
As much as I think it's a good match, because it was basically John Laurinaitis punishing Sheamus in a way by putting him against a strong, dominant heel. But at the same time, I know it's not the go-home show, so luckily this work done next week. But you're facing a champion who needs to look good and a number one contender that needs to look good. But it was done the right week. And this match, I really enjoyed it. Again, they both showed their strength. Kane, the thing that it led to was the AJ thing, which I really didn't think was needed because she didn't really help. But the match itself, I just give it a thumbs up. It was a good main event for SmackDown.
I mean, they usually put on a good TV main event. You had Del Rio running out and allowing Ricardo Rodriguez to take the hit again with Sheamus. And then you had AJ coming out to distract Kane, like you said, to allow Sheamus to hit the bro kick on Kane, and then he hits the bro kick on Ricardo Rodriguez. And Sheamus is kind of really just getting into the Breakfast Club now, isn't he? With the amount of times he's coming out on top on SmackDown. And I appreciate they're trying to make him look like a dominant force, like for example, a Batista. But they're not really allowing the heels to really get much on him at the moment, are they? I mean,
well, as much as the WWE should be concentrating on their heels, because it's the heels that make the pace look good, with the amount of wrestlers dropping out of the WWE, and with the WWE trying to make new people to look out for, they're really concentrating on Sheamus to be the top guy of SmackDown to replace Orton and Barrett for a temporary basis, and Jericho, but he's on Raw. But at the same time, they're trying to build up Sheamus a bit too heavily, I think. Like, week after week, you do, Del Rio got the upper hand on Raw, but then that obviously quickly changed hands from SmackDown. But overall, it ended with Sheamus looking strong, which you expect in a way because he's the top guy on SmackDown. But I did not think it was the best very ending of SmackDown.
With Orton out due to this suspension, they're gonna probably be pushing Sheamus a lot more because he's pretty much the only other face they have other than Christian on the show that's kind of credible right now. So we're gonna be seeing a lot more of Sheamus, guys. That's all I can say. And let's hope John Cena doesn't move over to SmackDown either. But there we go. Your overall thoughts on SmackDown? I think you, judging by the way you spoke in that review, I'm guessing you did not like it too much.
Pretty okay SmackDown with some of the stuff we got. Some stuff that I was quite entertained by, it made me laugh. Some of the stuff could possibly lead to something, but not for No Way Out. The main event was pretty decent, so I think wrapped up nicely to the main event. But overall, SmackDown really didn't give me a positive feeling for the show or the build up to No Way Out.
Exactly, and the problem is with SmackDown is you've got, what, 2 feuds on there, and the rest of it is pretty much filler. And as much as I like seeing the younger guys coming through, like the Cesaros, the Sandows, the Rybacks, the Sin Caras, the Brodus Clays, it kind of seems like they've just got SmackDown for loads of filler for the young guys and a couple of feuds, and there's nothing really much, like, really legit interesting happening on the show. Yeah, not much is happening on Raw either, but at least they have some feuds on there, and, you know, it's just... SmackDown is such a filler show right now. As much as I do like seeing the young talent, they've got to have a purpose, really. What more can you really say about the show? It was an average to bad show. It wasn't that entertaining, really, was it? But what's more important, guys, is you give us your thoughts on this edition of SmackDown in that comment section below as I leave you with the right and honourable NJ to outro us on this video.
Thank you very much, people. This has been SmackDown from Mr. Parkin and me and Jay. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tune in for our next video. Until next time, people. Goodbye.